Exactly.
We
that's
always
what
need
we're
help,
for.
I guess. Yeah,
exactly
so.
right. And that's why we do our job. Like, I do my job because I enjoy changing people's lives. So, it's not a job for me. Basically, at the end of the day, I get to come here, hang out with you guys, and then also talk with members. So it's great.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Wellness Podcast. We've made it to episode 5, which we're super proud of. You joined again this week with Matt and Jake, and we've also got our special guest Jade with us from the Health Club today.
Hey.
So thanks for joining in. Today we've obviously focused a lot on weight loss and preparation and everything like that in terms of your challenge, but today we thought we'd spin it up and we'd bring in Jade to talk about muscle gain and also her preparation and what's involved with the mindset and overall how to build some muscles. So welcome, Jade.
Thank you for having me.
So what's obviously been at the Health Club for race now for a short period. You're one of our newer trainers.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're enjoying it?
I am loving it. It's amazing. Get a vast majority of people wanting to lose weight, but then at the same time, obviously there are those few that are wanting to gain muscle, and I'm happy to always take on those clients. I generally get referred those ones, but yeah, it's a really good experience. You deal with such a wide variety of people, so yeah, it keeps it interesting.
Nice.
Awesome. And what's your background, I guess, where you come from?
So basically I've rode horses since I was about 6. So yeah, I've had ponies, competed in that the whole time. And then basically turned 18. Mum was on my back about riding my horses all the time, so I started hating on it. Sold my horse, bought my first car, and then was left with no hobby. So I got into the gym. Originally, I think everyone basically starts off where you just want to tone up, want to get a bit fitter, and then just absolutely fell in love with training and, pushing my body to limits. And, when you find that you're good at doing something, like such as weightlifting, you're strong, you're going to love it a bit more. So it's just sort of, took off from there. But
excellent. Yeah. So you're doing quite a bit of training at the moment and prepping for a competition coming up?
Yes, I am. So I have my first bodybuilding comp in April next year, start of April. So basically, before COVID, I had all intentions of competing and everything, but after that, kind of was really hard to get back into, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate with any kind of fitness. When you're sort of held back from doing something, it is really hard sometimes to get back into it. So but I'm definitely on the right path now. My mindset has never been this good. Just implementing now the steps that I'll need to be taking once I do start dieting and everything. But
so how far off is the comp?
So April, so just over 5 months now. So
it's a strong mindset.
So I'm starting now to implement my eating at exact time. So literally 9 o'clock first meal, second meal 12, third meal 3, fourth meal at 6, and then I'll have like a little snack or something or dessert at 8, but and then it's bedtime. So sleep's also another massive thing in terms of recovery and stuff.
Sure.
So generally overlooked a lot. So
it's interesting. I think I'm glad we got you on this week because I've been speaking with Jake about my diet and not getting enough protein into it. I find it. I think it's probably a common thing that a lot of people find it challenging to fill the calories and the protein required for when training. So been starting to lift some weights and stuff like that and focusing more on a bit of body weight loss, but more trying to build some muscle. So I guess, for me, I think my range is meant to be about 130 grams of protein to 140, and I'm probably, if I'm lucky, getting 80. So I guess there's probably a lot of people out there very similar to myself.
So common. It's
so
honestly,
some tips and tricks.
So basically I always go back to trying to get protein in every single meal. Whether you start off, a lot of people do struggle to actually eat the amount you need to because people generally like to fill up on empty carbs or fats. So it's really just important, I guess, to eat your proteins first when you actually do have your meal. Always eat your proteins first and then go into your veggies and stuff, and then try to go for your carbs if you are, trying to lose weight. Not that carbs are bad, but people tend to overindulge a lot with that sort of stuff. So if you do keep your proteins and fats high, you will feel a lot more satiated. Sorry.
Okay, cool. And is there any easy? So obviously you touched on you got your different kinds of meats that are really high in protein and really good.
Yeah.
Is there some other I guess, foods or snacks that are go-tos for yourself that you've been able to get good levels of protein in a small amount of food?
Definitely. So one thing for myself, I struggle a lot with like gluten and dairy intolerance, so I can have it in very minimal portions, I guess. But definitely like protein bars and, drinking protein does help. Protein bars is generally my sweet treat I would have, or something like Fit Lardo, or, those high protein ice creams and stuff. Problem with a lot of them though is that they are filled with a lot of crap that we don't always need to put in our body. So it's important to have that at a very minimal point, unless you can tolerate it. But just because you feel good doesn't mean you're good on the inside as well. So always trying to get your sources of your micronutrients and macronutrients all like that from as natural possible source is the best, as least processed as possible. So that your chicken, beef, lamb, fish. I love tuna. Tuna's a good one for me.
That's probably
That's an easy one.
And tuna.
Good on the dollar as well.
Yeah,
I guess,
as well as Greek yogurt as well. So Jake eating your YoPro
Yep.
before.
Give it a shot,
YoPro, I literally my first meal is YoPro, 2 eggs and some blueberries.
So for someone out there like myself, looking for a bit of a guide around what to eat, obviously see the trainers, they'll be able to help you upstairs. But for our podcast listeners today, like what would be something for someone looking to get into it, not having to have 180 grams of protein, but someone around that 100 to 130. What would you suggest, like for breakfast? And then lunch and dinner and stuff.
Obviously everyone's different in terms of their sweet tooth and stuff, so good breakfast for people. If people already have oats, for example, adding protein powder to your oats, mixing in with some water, gives you protein oats. So you're getting your 30 grams there. For me, for example, my breakfast at the moment, as I said, 2 eggs and a YoPro with some blueberries. That's 30 grams of protein for me. So if you're trying to hit that 30 gram mark with every single meal, if you have 4 meals a day, that's already 120 grams. So it is very easy to do once you get the hang of it, and if you can just be conscious to get that protein in every meal. But eggs, yogurts, are pretty much the go-to for breakfast.
Chicken and some broccoli or something, and tuna and rice or something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably some of those go-tos that I see that everyone in the staff room eating.
And one of the funny things, with my class, my strength class I do Thursday nights, so one of the girls, they were complaining about their calorie deficit. Obviously, a lot of people will be struggling, realizing how much they actually have been eating. A little tip that I had was cauliflower rice instead of rice. It's a really good one. I used to have that with my tuna, and it was like half a kilo worth of food for about 208 calories. So
an easy one to grab from the shops as well.
Exactly. It's just put a bit of frozen cauliflower rice in a container, 2-3 cans of tuna, depending on how much you like to eat. I have 3, but but it's just dependent on the person.
And I think we've obviously spoken a lot about protein, so we probably need to go back to the importance of protein for our listeners, and
definitely
if you can just talk through why that level of protein, and you can use the EVOLT scans that once you put your details in, it kind of gives you a rough range. So why is it important to hit those levels?
It's just so important for recovery. Not only is the protein important, it's also sleep. It's just your day-to-day activities as well.
Full.
Exactly. So you just want to make sure also like carbs are quite important if you are wanting to gain muscle. You need to be sure to replenish your glycogen. Your calories need to be in a surplus 99% of the time. Obviously beginners have that lucky thing where you get your first 6 months, which is a pretty much get away with gel free card. Get our gel free card. So that's beginners have the best thing ever, but that's long gone for me, unfortunately. But so you really, once you get to where I am, for example, your nutrition, sleep, just keeping everything regular as well, routine's so important with it. And that way you're not going to fall off track. So
some really good tips there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And how have you stayed consistent throughout this time? Like, is it?
It's honestly it's a trial and error thing. So I've gone through. We've all been through quite a bit, the past few years and stuff. But I've had a lot of stuff in my personal life, dealing with a lot of crap that has sort of really altered my mental health. So mental health is one of those things that at the end of the day can, either make or break you. So it's very important to, I guess, get everything right with your mental, and then, honestly shows through your work ethic. But not only that, I think they go hand in hand at the same time in terms of, you know, if you are training and you're putting in the work, it gives you an escape from what you might be going through in your life, in your personal life. So for me, you know, I've been saying I was going to compete for, you know, 2-3 years now, and it's just at some points I've just been like, it's been almost a stress for me. And that's another thing as well, to keep as low as possible when, you know, you're going into a preparation for something, is keeping cortisol levels low, because that affects everything once again. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, but now, you know, I'm in that mindset where it's like, gonna do it.
Yeah, good on you. Excellent. Yeah,
so, and like a lot of, and with the weight loss thing as well, like a lot of people, you know, if they really want it, they'll do it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. At the end of the day, if you know you're making excuses for yourself, like not getting up early enough to go do your cardio, or, you know, you're not getting up early enough to even just get into the gym, that's, you know, obviously you're not ready for that weight loss journey that you say you're ready for. But you know,
that importance of having a goal and
exactly
staying true to it,
100%.
Yeah,
exactly right.
Definitely, a lot of the time you hear people speaking about that, you know, the gym is their outlet as well, I guess, and somewhere where they, you know, they might get that hour away from the screaming kids to go up in the gym, or that, you know, that's their dedicated hour that they feel like they're doing their well-being.
Exactly
as well.
right.
So it's a really important thing, I guess, is that mindset, and then setting those goals. And obviously your one's a bit bigger than most, probably.
Yeah, a little bit.
But just everyone has to start somewhere, I guess.
Exactly right.
Thing.
And just, as I said, for me, it was just getting in shape and just I didn't have horses anymore. Well, I had them, but I didn't want to be around that anymore. Just, you know, something a little more healthy, I guess, for my life and what I wanted. And that's generally how most people start off with their bodybuilding. You know, it's just they'll get into the gym, fall in love with it. You know, it's amazing.
Perfect. You got a few clients going through the challenge at the moment, and how's the team going?
I
heard you in the gym the other day talking to someone. I was like, "Whoa, man, what about on her team?"
So I've had definitely a few successful people, and then a couple that are just like, as I said before, they're just not ready for it. You can obviously be on someone's back as much as you want, but at the end of the day, I don't want to. There's a very fine line between pushing someone and then having someone not actually want to come back because you've just been too harsh on them. So my number one policy with my clients is just obviously honesty. So if I'm not seeing the results that I want to see, I will be straight up front. So one of my clients, he was having nuts. And this is a common thing I have with a lot of people. A handful of nuts is a lot different to a whole bag of nuts. So when
it's so good though.
Yeah, I know exactly, that's the point. So, you know, if you look at it in a context of, you know, your fats, which is mainly what nuts are, you know, 9 calories per gram, compared to, let's just say, your carbs, so your rice, popcorn, whatever, is 4 calories per gram. Fats will keep you more satiated, but if you're going to the extent where you're literally just having handfuls of nuts, you got essentially, let's just use hypothetically 900 calories compared to 400 calories for 100 grams of either way. So when you look at it in that context, when we got our body scan back, when I looked at it, I said, "What have you been doing?" I've been really good. Yes, just because you eat good food doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. If you can still eat too much of good food, that's at the end of the day. You can live off McDonald's all you want and you will still lose weight if you're not eating enough of it. So at the end of the day, it's calories in versus calories out. And then upon our second scan a week later, we'd seen the weight drop already. So it's one of those things. Exactly. And it's about, you know, I do take small steps because obviously as a personal trainer, we are quite limited to what advice we can give nutritionally. I don't know if that's a word, but in a nutritional point of view. So you just take small steps, and the main thing is not to overload someone with information, because obviously I know a lot. There's still a lot more to know, but you know, people can sometimes miss the really important things. So it's just about taking it nice and slow with them when you know they are coming into that deficit.
And that's the luxury here, I guess, at KCRAs with the membership, that they can do
I
check-ins.
know.
You know what I mean? Like, you've been to other gyms,
and that's something I've said to you so many times. Like outside of here, like you get an online coach or something. You're paying anywhere from $60 to, for example, myself, I'm going to be spending $110 a week. You know, and that's literally, if I coming to myself, like with the knowledge that I have around this, like I comfortably take on people, you know, wanting to build muscle and everything, you're paying over like triple the amount. And you're not even getting access to a gym if you're getting an online coach for the exact same resources that you get in case you race.
The message is don't be afraid to bug our trainers.
Yeah, exactly.
And use them for their knowledge and the time that they've got there, because that's why it's there for you guys.
Exactly right.
Have a check-in and get your scans done and build a relationship with a trainer.
100%.
So, you know, if you're working out around the same time that someone's training, then, you know, make sure you build that connection and ask questions.
Exactly, that's what we're here
for.
for.
I guess.
Exactly right. And that's why we do our job. Like, I do my job because I enjoy changing people's lives. So, you know, it's not a job for me. Basically, at the end of the day, I get to come here, hang out with you guys, and then also talk with members. So it's great.
And it's a really good point. Yeah, that's the goal. You know, change people's lives. So,
exactly.
It's really good to hear that. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I guess, you've got the challenge coming up. Is there anything else along the way, or is that just the focus at the moment?
That's just the focus for me at the moment. So yeah, just as I said, I'm just putting those steps in place, sleep, training, training 4 to 5 days a week, depending on sort of how I feel, because I've been a bit sick lately. It's just rest is very important when you are sick. Don't overdo it, because otherwise you just end up placing unnecessary stress on your central nervous system, so you end up being sicker for longer. It's like with injuries, you don't, you know, if you keep sort of being at an injury, which I'm going through too at the moment, you're not going to get any better. So it's very important to rest, otherwise you'll be out for so much longer. Yeah,
I think it's a good point that you just touched on there, the recovery. So excited to announce the recovery adrenaline program.
Recovery. So that's the Wednesday at 8 p.m. Starting not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after with Rebecca. So just a 30-minute session, foam rolling, stretching, just a midweek recovery session. If you're feeling like you're like tired or fatigued or like sore from your training, come to that session and we'll be able to.
And again, come and just chew off the ear of the trainer and get some tips and tricks. And you know, you might be a stretch that you're not sure how to do. Feel free to come. It'll be a small group. You can obviously spend that time with the trainer and get a bit of knowledge out of them as well to help you in your training. While we're on the subject, got the run club starting tonight, which obviously won't be. So we'll be into week 2 after this drop. So yes, please make sure you do check that out. The man here, Jake, will be running that one himself, which will be really exciting. And so Jake's got great knowledge around running. I don't know how he does it, but he'll run 10 to 14 Ks before work most days. So he's definitely someone that you can obviously grab a lot of knowledge out of that as well. Another really good skill just for general, I guess, fitness in a way. So
correct. Yeah, it doesn't matter what your goal is. If you're like just looking to run, or you're just looking to reduce weight, or just get some extra cardio in, we'll be able to help you. And it's all time based as well, so you're not having to keep up with anyone else. It's all based on your own fitness. And say we do like a 2-minute interval, it's whatever you can do in 2 minutes. It's not you're versing this person for 2 minutes or running this far as well. So any fitness level, any ability, you can come and get something out of the sessions as well.
Awesome. Fantastic. I think that, unless you've got anything else you want to touch on, obviously we're interested to see.
A lot.
Interested
it's so much to cover.
Go as well.
I was thinking about that. So we've got that photo up there now. We've gone from a bulking phase, so we haven't really touched too much on hypertrophy training or putting on muscle. I was just wondering if you can get some tips.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously the most important thing at the end of the day, you do want to try and get your calories as high as possible without getting to the extreme of, you know, putting on unnecessary weight. So in that photo previously that we had up, so I was about 70 to 72 kilos, and I dropped down about 10 kilos in about 3 months. So, you know, it's about 1 kilo a week. That was once again, you know, trialing for comp sort of stuff, seeing what I could push my body to do. But at the end of the day, it is so important to go through those uncomfortable phases. As much as we don't like them, you know, you might feel a bit fluffy or a bit, you know, unfit sometimes once you do start to hold a little bit of extra weight. But no, it is so important to make sure you're getting the correct nutrition, as I said, sleep, and then training as well. So a lot of people, you know, like I used to do a lot of ego lifting back in my day when I was injury free. And yeah, you know, just a lot of 1 rep maxes all the time. But you know, that's not at the end of the day going to get you to where you need to be. You want to sort of be training in rep ranges of, you know, 6 to 15 up to 20 sometimes. And, you know, once you hit a point, for example, where I'm at now, you know, you've got to be taking some sets to failure and everything. Yep. I had a client the other morning. I said to her, she's been training for a while now. I said, oh, so how's training going? You know, have you been training failure? Yeah. You know, yeah. And when we say failure as well, it's not failure to the point where form's going out the window and you're going to get injured. It's to technical failure. So, you know, for example, if we were using a squat, for example, you know, you might start to see, you know, slight lean forward and knees start to buckle in a little bit. That's you done, okay? But I popped her on the leg press, and I think you were there, actually. Yeah.
That was the lady that was getting the punishment.
Yeah.
The other day, I was like, whoa, wouldn't want to be on that leg press right now.
So we went through it, and I said to her, like, what I like to gauge, leg presses are very safe ones, I guess, to go to failure with, because you're not loading up your back or anything like that. So much lower risk of injury compared to a squat. So this is, the perfect example. Popped no weight on to start off with, did 12 reps to warm up, popped a plate on each side. We did 20 reps, easy, and ended up popping on another plate each side. So, you know, 4 plates total, 25 kilos each. We did 30 reps, and she was still moving the weight from, you know, the base to the top at the same speed. So to me, you know, until you're getting to that point where you're like shaking and that weight does not want to go up, even when, you know, I'm sure you've been there on a bench press sometimes, you know, when you're like, oh crap, am I actually going to push this up or not? Like, you know, that's sort of the intensity that people need to start training at once they've been doing it for a while, because after that 6-month period of your beginner stage, you're like, it's so hard to put on muscle. And like, it's funny, I get so many clients coming in saying, oh, I don't want to get too muscly, I don't want to lift weights. And it's like, I've been training for 6 years and I'm still, you know, still got a long way to go. Yeah. So it's a time thing. So use, you know, if you can educate yourself as much as possible before you start, for example, by coming in to see a trainer you know, you're already on the right path. A lot of people waste that first 6 months, you know, doing junk volume or just stuff that they shouldn't even do.
I think it's a good point. I think from witnessing that as well, you know, it's not like, you know, trying to scare people. It's really trying to give them the tools required to do it. And, you know, afterwards you guys, you know, had a good laugh with each other about, you know, this is what's required. Yeah. And, you know, I think that was that, you know, being able that she was able to understand as well. And, you know, probably felt good when she left.
Oh,
probably
100%.
Was shaky legs.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, holy crap, what was that? But ultimately, at the end of the day, she felt like she, you know, was really cared for in that.
Exactly.
Like, she was given the truth. And you shook her through that, and I'm sure she'll be better for it. So,
exactly right.
It's super important to be realistic, I guess, as well.
100%.
You don't want to be telling people the wrong things. So no, that was good to see, and clearly she felt that one up.
Yeah.
That was for sure.
But yeah, it's just like those little things, and you know, we will, like, obviously with all my clients, I tell them to begin with, you know, go to X, Y, Z, but a lot of the time you'll find they start to slack off a little bit. They stop increasing their weights. At the end of the day, progressive overload, pretty much it's, you know, that's the main thing that helps drive you. So tracking your workouts is another point we should touch on. I think, you know, if you are looking to gain muscle, tracking your weights and stuff to make sure that you are sort of seeing a trend slowly go up. You know, if it stops going up, you know, that's when we revisit nutrition, sleep, stress levels, all that sort of stuff. So there's just so much that comes into play. Could talk about it all day.
No, I think it's really added a lot of value for the guys that may be sitting there a little bit at the moment going, I'm not seeing those results that I'm wanting to. And it's just like, you know, we're into the final few weeks now, the challenge as well for the people that are in the challenge. You know, maybe it is that time to reevaluate, set your mindset, set a goal. You've got 3 weeks or whatever to go. Like, let's push hard and let's finish really strong. Yeah. And then you'll see the rewards, you know, coming into Christmas, think about all that kind of stuff as well.
All that yummy food.
Do you know what I mean? So you want to be, you know, in your best, I guess, body that you can be for those times. And this is the opportunity to do it. The trainers are up there, so make sure you're chatting with them. And,
we're ready.
That's good. Awesome, Jade. Well, thanks for coming on today and sharing your knowledge. Just a little present from Nutrition Warehouse as well there for you. So I'm sure you'll get used out of that. Maybe with some oats in the morning or something. That would be good.
We'll see.
No, it's been a pleasure having you on. And
Thank you.
If you see Jade in the gym, make sure you bump into it, have a chat if you're looking at building some muscle. And obviously we'll keep in touch as well with Jade as she progresses through to her competition. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.